I didn't get one.
So we're going to do the mantra for purification, so you can repeat after me. Om Appavitra Pavitrava Sarvavastam Gatopiva Yasmaret Pundarikaksham Sabyaha Avyamtara Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Om.
Achman 3 times, and then this mantra 3 times.
Okay.
So that's Achman, please. Om Keshavaya Namaha.
Om Keshavaya Namaha.
If you need a chair, we can get you a chair.
No, I'm good.
You're okay?
Then again, Om Narayana Namaha. Third time, Om Madhavaya Namaha. We'll do it again. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatopiva Jasmaret Kundari Kaksham Sabyaha Abhyantara Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. And again, Achman. Om Kesavaya Namaha. Om Narayana Namaha. Om Madhavaya Namaha. One last time. Om Apavitra Pavitrova Sarvavastam Gatoapiva Jasmaret Kundari Kaksham Sabyaha Abhyantara Suchihi Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu Sri Vishnu. Achman. Om Kesavaya Namaha.
We've done it 3 times.
Om Narayana Namaha.
It's number 4.
Om Madhavaya Namaha.
We're done. Let's chant Brahma Samhita together. You have sheets. Really, where is it? This isn't, oh, there it is. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachit Ananda Vigraha Anadir Adir Govinda Sarva Karana Karanam Chintamani Prakada Sadma Sukalpa Briksha Lakshavrati Susurabhir Abhipalayantam Lakshmi Sahasra Shata Sambrahma Sevamanam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Vedam Padmantam Aravinda Dalaya Taksham Bharhavatam Sam Asitam Buddha Sundarangam Kandarpa Koti Kamaniya Vishesha Shobham Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Alola Chandrakala Sadvanamalya Vamshi Ratnam Gadam Pranayakeni Kalavilasam Shamam Tribangalalidham Niyata Prakasham Govindamadi Purusham Amaham Bhajami Angani Yasya Sakalendriya Vrittimanti Pashyanti Panti Kalayanti Chiram Jaganti Ananda Chinmayla Sudvala Vigrahasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Advaitam Achutim Anadim Anantaropam Adyam Purana Purusham Navayovanam Cha Vedesha Durlabam Adurlabam Atma Bhaktao Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Pantastu Koti Shatavatsara Sampargamyo Vayoratapi Manasomani Pungavanam Sopyasti Advapadasinya Vachincha Tatve Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ekopya Saurachayatam Jagadanda Kotim Yashchaktirasti Jagadanda Chayaya Dantahat Andantarasta Paramana Chayantarastam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yadbhava Bhavatadiyo Manajasta Taiva Samprapya Rupa Mahimashanayana Bhusha Sukhaya Ganiva Nigama Patatai Svanti Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasakati Bhavitami Tabir Yageva Nijarud Pataya Kalamihi Shukala Niyamena Tishtan Nanavataram Aparod Bhuvaneshu Kinto Krishna Swayam Samabhava Paramakumanyo Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasya Prabha Prabhavato Jagadanda Koti Koti Svasheshu Vasudhari Vibhoti Vinnam Tad Brahma Nishkalam Anantam Ashesha Bhutam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Maya Hiyasya Jagadanda Shatani Sute Trai Gunya Tad Vishaya Veda Vitayamana Parasattvam Vishuddha Sattvam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Ananda Chinmaya Rasamatayamanasu Yadraninam Hariparam Smaratam Upetya Leelayatena Bhuvanani Jagat Yajasram Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Golokanami Nitadami Tale Chatasya Devi Mahesha Harinama Suteshu Teshu Te Te Prabhava Nitayami Tasyena Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shristi Stiti Pradaya Sadhana Shakti Rekha Chayeva Yasya Bhuvanadi Vivarti Durga Sanurupam Yasya Tesa Tesa Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shriram Yatakalikara Vishesha Yogat Sanjayate Nihittatag Pratagasti Hetoho Yaksham Bhutam Apitata Samupaiti Kalyat Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Deeparshir Eva Hidasham Tanam Abhyupetya Deepayateva Vritahetu Samana Dharma Yastadriga Eva Ita Vishnu Taya Vibhati Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Kisma Yoga Nidramananta Jagadanda Saromakopaha Adara Saktim Avalamya Param Sumurtim Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yasyaika Nishvasita Kalamatavalamya Jivanti Loma Vinujada Gadandanataha Vishnur Mahansiha Yasya Kalabhishesho Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Bhasvanyatam Shma Sakaleshu Najeshu Tejaha Sviyam Kiyat Prakariyat Tadvitad Vadatra Ramaya Isha Ragananda Vedana Karta Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yatpada Pallava Yugam Vididaya Kumbha Vande Pranama Samaye Saganadi Rajaha Vignan Nihantam Alam Asya Jagatrayasya Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Agnir Mahi Gagan Ambo Marudashascha Kalastatatma Manasita Jagatrayami Yasmat Bhavanti Vibhavanti Vishanti Yansha Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yashchakshir Esha Savita Sakalagrahanam Raja Samasta Suramurti Rashesha Teja Yasyagya Pramiti Samrita Kala Chakro Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Dharmota Papa Chayashrutayasta Pansi Brahmadi Kita Patagava Dayasta Jivaha Yadatra Mata Prakata Prabhava Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami. Yasvindram Gopam Atavendram Ahostra Karma Bandhanurupa Padapajanam Atunoti Karmani Nirdahita Kintu Cha Bhakti Bhajam Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Yam Krodha Kama Sahaja Pranayani Biti Vatsanya Moha Guru Gaurava Sevya Bhavai Sanchintya Tasha Shadrashim Tanam Apurete Govindamadi Purusham Tamaham Bhajami Shriya Kanta Kanta Parama Purusha Kalpataravo Brahma Bhumishchintamani Ganamai Tayamamritam Kata Ganam Natyam Ganamam Api Vangshi Priyasaki Chidanandam Jyoti Param Api Tad Aspadyam Api Cha Sayat Rakshadagni Shravati Shurabi Vyastra Sumahan Imeshad Yakyova Vrajati Nahi Yatrapi Samaya Vaje Shweta Dvipam Tamaham Iham Golokam Ityam Vedantaste Santashati Virala Chara Katipaye Ishvara Parama Krishna Sachidananda Vigraha Anake Ake Govinda Dharmakarana Karanam. Powerful prayer, Govinda. Continuing on the theme of empathic communication, I thought it would be appropriate to make some references to our Acaryas. Yesterday evening was Bhagavatam Chaitanya Charitamrita, and now our Acaryas being examples of empathic communication or compassion. In principle, we heard the description, the in principle mood, compassionate mood of the Acharya is to be the carrier of Krishna's compassion. And what is Krishna's compassion? Or, in two words, why creation? So the second purpose is to provide living entities the chance to fulfill their desire to try to be an enjoyer independently from Krishna, which is impossible, and therefore the illusory potency is one aspect of creation, and restoring the fullness of happiness to the living entities is the second purpose of creation. The opportunity is there, built within the creation, and with the creation, the means of rectification of the errant misuse of free will of the living entity to restore it to a healthy condition again. So with that in mind, the previous Acaryas, they are instruments of that desire of Krishna, the happiness of the living entity. Everyone should be happy. Now that's Vaikuntha. And in a place of Kunta, it's not happy. Seeing that, this is the cognizant element, seeing that unhappiness and why The affective element is wishing the happiness, feeling the sorrow, but unnecessary. Suffering is unnecessary. And how much suffering? In so many different ways. All the lonely people, where do they all belong? There's a song like that. Wanting to love and be loved and feeling alone. There's the eternal friend of all living beings. Due to forgetfulness, we're looking elsewhere and feeling lonely, and other kinds of things. So that the Acaryas wish to deliver real happiness. Prabhupada would repeat over and over a certain phrase in Sanskrit that means, may they be happy. And if you listen, I've been fortunate to listen to recordings of Prabhupada's lectures all over the world, and almost always the punchline is, and people should be happy. While explaining the misfortune in so many ways, the misguided civilization in so many ways, and the philosophy in so many ways, the end result is people should be happy. He just wanted the people to be happy. That's our well-wisher, your ever well-wisher, Srila Prabhupada, reminding us who our real friend is. And by reminding us who our real friend is, he is also our real friend, one who does like that. Or another way of saying, same thing, a real friend is one who reminds you of Krishna. But specifically, he's your best friend. There isn't a better friend. There can't be a better friend. He is the best friend. Always, even when our attention is elsewhere, he remains our best friend. Wherever the living entity goes, it's described this way by our Acaryas, that the Paramatma feature is not present in Goloka. The Paramatma feature is present only in the created realm. Because the living entities who wish to forget Krishna, so to speak, or literally, they turn their back on Krishna and walk. They leave that relationship. You can't leave that relationship, but the consciousness of leaving that relationship, I'm out of here. Krishna is very kind. He hides himself in the heart of the living entity and accompanies the living entity through their whole journey trying to forget Krishna. He's there reminding them, helping them, giving them the intelligence how to forget him in different ways, because that's what they want, but also reminding them, like one college student the other day was asking, why pain? How to transcend it, and why is it even there? Anyway, so I thought it was a very intelligent question. Like Sanatana Goswami asking, why the threefold miseries? Why are we subjected to that? Not like how to work around it, or how to manage it, and how to navigate your way through. Just why is it there? You're like, why creation? an indication is, it tells us something. It's there to tell us something. There's a power beyond us, and we need to connect with that power beyond us. It's like a person who's in prison. It's unpleasant. So in so many ways, just like this nice example of Judd Bharat teaching King Rahugana, the forest of material enjoyment, not a place of enjoyment. So those are reminders. That's the why. It's a reminder. This isn't our real place. And so what's the alternative? The place of freedom. Vaikuntha. Hearing it, how many times have we heard it? So many times. And we're still, there's affinity for being enjoyers of the temporary. But tirelessly, Super Soul and the representative of Super Soul tirelessly express, come to Krishna. And that's the best friend. Expertly, not naggingly, but very expertly. Sometimes gently, sometimes strongly, sometimes embracing, sometimes scolding, sometimes whatever is appropriate. And all of our acaryas have that spirit. I wanted to share some examples. There are so many examples. One is Bhaktivinoda Thakur. And there's a specific incident that's outstanding. There was a time... You okay? Need a chair? You're sure? Okay. There was a time when Bhaktivinoda Thakur was living in Puri. He was not yet initiated, but he was a lover of Krishna. He was a lover of Srimad Bhagavatam. And he was, a brilliant speaker of the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. So on a daily basis, those of you that have been to Puri, you can picture in your mind the Jagannath Vallabh garden, and he would go to a certain place in the Jagannath Vallabh garden, sit and speak Srimad Bhagavatam, and daily the numbers of persons grew and grew because he's an exalted personality speaking the message of Srimad Bhagavatam. And as that notoriety grew and grew, there was one Babaji who started speaking bad things about Bhaktivinoda Thakur, Raghunath Das Babaji. And he was telling people, don't go. And the explanation isn't given why he said don't go, but don't go hear from him. And this went on, and the news came to, how it came back to Bhaktivinoda. Could you put that down? Thanks. It came back to Bhaktivinoda that he was speaking this way, and he just tolerated. And after some time, the man, Raghunath Das Babaji, contracted a disease that had a very severe fever, and he was going to leave his body. The fever became so intense. Body was burning. And one night he had a dream. Lord Jagannath appeared to him in his dream and said, "You are an offender of a pure devotee. You should fall at his feet and beg forgiveness for your offense." His name wasn't at that time Bhaktivinoda Thakur, but you go to him. Fall at his feet and beg forgiveness. So the man was nearly dead with fever, but he somehow made it to where Bhaktivinoda Thakur was staying. and did exactly what Jagannath told him to do, and explained what the offense was that he had made. The offense was he was criticizing him, that, how can you speak the Srimad Bhagavatam? You're not even wearing tilak, and you're not even wearing kuntimala, and you're posing yourself as a speaker of the Bhagavatam? How audacious, that was my thought. I didn't understand. Jagannath told me, I shouldn't have spoken like that. So Bhaktivinoda Thakur explained, my association with Krishna is through the holy name, and my association with Tulsi is through the beads and chanting of the holy name. But I have not yet found my guru. I am not therefore wearing kuntimala, like when we have our initiation ceremony. We change out our old kuntimala and get new ones. During Bhaktivinoda Thakur's time, the practice was, prior to initiation, no kuntimala. With initiation is one of the 5 things that the spiritual master will give to the disciple. And also tilak. There's an essay, Pancha Sanskar, Bhaktivinoda wrote. Those are 2 of 5 things the Guru gives. A name is another. So, because I haven't found Guru, I'm not improperly, that was his standard, I'm not wearing kuntimala and tilak. But I'm praying to Krishna for that day to come when I will find my Guru. Now, Prabhupada was very liberal, and he had everybody wearing neck beads, and giving us an explanation why. It will protect us. At the time of death, when the Yamadutas, whatever sinful, wear neck beads, they'll leave you alone. Okay, I can be sinful, wear neck beads, and I'm good. Said we don't do that, but to remind us of Krishna, remind others of Krishna. So not only Bhaktivinoda forgave him, Bhaktivinoda diagnosed his illness, just like we heard Prabhupada diagnosing Jamuna's illness, and then he took charge of curing him. He gave him certain medicine, he prescribed a certain diet, and became well. And he spoke of him so highly. He called him a Siddha Purush, which means like a perfected soul, and honored him with great exaltation. They became great friends because they're both very elevated personalities. But not understanding the greatness of Bhaktivinoda, he was offending him. And Bhaktivinoda took no exception to that, rather just having compassion and affection. Wanted to cure him of the illness, not like he got his. Not like that. And different but similar, a nice example is Jayadev Goswami. Now some of you know the story, but Jayadev Goswami, when we have our Arti ceremony, we sing the Nrsimha prayers at the end. That's from one part of writings of Jayadev Goswami. The book was entitled Gita Govinda. Gita Govinda was very much appreciated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. During the lifetime of Jayadev Goswami, it was sung every day by a group of dasis, young girls, for the pleasure of Jagannath. Long story, but Jayadev Goswami, among other things, he had a deity of Radha Madhava. Beautiful deity of Radha Madhava. It is said that the original deity Radha Madhava are now in Jaipur. But they're very large deities. And during some time when he was wishing to have a wonderful Janmashtami festival for Radha Madhava, but he was a Brahmana, he didn't have wealth. So for the service of his deity, he decided that he would go on a little tour, a month-long tour, and sing and deliver the message of Gita Govinda to different audiences, and whatever he would receive as contributions, he would bring back, use that for the worship of his deity. In that way, fully clean, fully transparent, fully pure, not Bhagavad Katha for maintaining himself. It was for his deity. So in the course of that month-long journey, he had some savings, some wealth. And some dacoits came to know he had some wealth, and so they attacked him. And they stole his money and threw him in the bottom of a well. Robbery and attempted murder. And one king was passing in that remote place, and there was a well, and he went to get well and saw somebody at the bottom of the well. Help! And so he helped Jayadev get out of the well. And Jayadev didn't explain anything like those people or I'm Jayadev. He just, was grateful to the king for saving his life. And the king brought him back, restored him to health, and came to know that he was a composer, and so he wanted to hear his composition, and he heard his composition and became so charmed. Now, regularly he would hear Jayadev Goswami recite Gita Govinda. Then he decided to have a big festival and let everybody hear. So he arranged and publicized big festival. So during those days, when a big festival would take place, the brahmanas would come, and remuneration of the brahmanas was part of the festival, giving cloth and gifts and valuables. And in the audience, dressed as if they were brahmanas, were the same robbers. Now they didn't know it was Jayadev that was going to be this, that the person they dumped into the well was Jayadev, but Jayadev recognized them. So he called the constables over and gestured in their direction. See those fellows? So the fellows saw Jayadev speaking to the constables, thinking, uh-oh, we're going to get arrested and punished by the king. So they got up and took off. And when they took off, Jayadev said, please find them and give them abundant wealth. So, he didn't explain anything, like what had happened and why he said that. Just, so they were doing the bidding of this sadhu, and they caught the robbers. And they said, why did you leave? And then they started saying bad things about Jayadev. Oh, he's a corrupt person, this and that, lying about, and again, just speaking words of offensiveness without even explaining anything of what had previously happened, because they're not supposed to say that, they'd be in trouble. As the story goes, as they were speaking these offensive words to Jayadev, the earth opened up like a sinkhole. They became buried in the earth, and the earth closed. And the constables were very surprised, to say the least. So they came back and informed the king what happened. We pursued them, but this happened. They said these bad things, and the earth came out and they were gone. So the king asked Jayadev, do you know who those fellows were? And why was it you wanted them to be remunerated in this way? So Jayadev told the whole story. Said, those were the same fellows that robbed me and threw me down at the bottom of the well. So why'd you want to remunerate them? Why'd you want to give them gifts? He said, because I could understand. They were in hardship. And so why should they be in hardship? Let's give them the means so they don't have to be in anxiety. The king was astonished. He wasn't holding anything against them. He was just understanding their mentality, the hardship mentality, and let's relieve them of that hardship mentality by, here's some remuneration, here's some means. You don't have to go steal, you can just receive these gifts from the king. That's pretty extraordinary. But great personalities, they do such extraordinary things. So as with Bhaktivinoda Thakur, also Jayadev, I want to tell a lesser known story, but some of you may not even be aware of the first part, certainly not the second part, probably not the second part. In the early days, the person who was assisting Srila Prabhupada with Sanskrit was Pradyumna, kind of a celebrity, Hare Krishna celebrity, Pradyumna. Prabhupada called him Panditji, lazy intelligent. Too lazy. One time Prabhupada was visiting in New York, and he wanted to see how well Pradyumna had done with the synonyms for the Sanskrit verses of the Bhagavatam. And he was like, I don't know how much, but a whole lot. Several chapters, maybe more than a canto's worth of synonyms that he just hadn't gotten around to because he was lazy intelligent. Prabhupada scolded him, and that night he finished everything, caught up everything. He personally did it. And that's where it started, and then after some time, there was another devotee whose name was Nitai, and if you hear the recordings of the reciting of the Sanskrit verses, that other voice is Nitai's voice. And he had studied Sanskrit and became a qualified Sanskrit person. So he was doing Sanskrit work for the BBT and helping Prabhupada like Pradyumna was. He was not as lazy intelligent as Pradyumna. Something happened. Nitai read too many books. And some of the books were books that devotees shouldn't be reading. They were, I don't even know what books they were, but they were books that led him away from Prabhupada's shelter because he was doing something one was not supposed to do and got him into trouble. So at one point, he asked Prabhupada for permission to take initiation from somebody else where he could learn some higher things. And Prabhupada was fire. I reject you. And that was like a well-known thing in ISKCON. And so he left. And his non-devotee name was Neil Delmonico, and he became then a professor and an author of things that devotees shouldn't be reading, because he kind of went off the cliff because of offense. And Prabhupada was fired. The little known part, I heard this from Hari Sori, is that Prabhupada cried. And he appealed to him multiple times later to become properly situated once again. Although publicly he had been offended, privately he was trying to restore him. Very compassionate. He was rejecting Prabhupada, and Prabhupada is appealing to him. He didn't respond. But the compassion of Prabhupada went even for offenders. What to speak of people who make mistakes. So, who can understand the heart and the mind of such an elevated person? We are not to imitate such elevated persons. But it gives an idea of the capacity. What's the intention behind all of these things? It's being instruments of Krishna's compassion. And what's Krishna's compassion? Living entities should be again connected with Krishna, because that's their happiness. Krishna wants their happiness, not his happiness. Krishna wants their happiness. Just like parents want the happiness of their children. Of course it gives happiness to the parents to see their children happy, but real happiness is the happiness of the children. And they're developing nicely and so forth. Krishna wants that. But he doesn't interfere with our free will. Therefore, the Acaryas act as instruments of that will of Krishna. And they can be, sometimes very direct. Not just neutral supersoul, but very direct. So essential in receiving Krishna's compassion and Lord Chaitanya's compassion is the instruments of Krishna's and Lord Chaitanya's compassion. And all of us, of course, different situations, there's lots of diversity, but something that's essential is we've all received some mercy of an instrument or multiple instruments of Krishna's mercy. And for that, we're indebted. And to the extent that we feel that gratitude, it can move our hearts, transform our hearts, and take us closer to Krishna. That's the intention of the compassion of the Vaishnavas. We come closer to Krishna. You just have to say yes. And yet, say yes means practical steps. We may not be totally clear the steps and everything, the goal, but making steps. So initiation is one of those important steps. Srila Prabhupada, when speaking about the 9 stages of bhakti, this initiation comes bhajana kriya. So the initial adav shraddha, some faith, sadhu sangha, association of devotees, bhajana kriya. We do with sadhus what sadhus do. We do some devotional activity, bhajana kriya. That's what we do. And the initiation is in that bhajana kriya stage. So here there's 2 nice devotees who will be receiving first initiation, and that's kind of the focus. The second initiation is also devotees that I've known for umpteen years. How many years? 20? Huh? 28 years. That's a long time. Look at, he's getting gray. I knew him from when he was in college. Yeah. Long time. And then they got married, then he met his wife. Still in college, very young. Practicing Krishna consciousness very, very steadily for all these years, and doing lots of service, and now deity worship at the temple, so you got to get second initiation to do deity worship. They've been doing deity worship in their home. So, anyway, it's an important stage. Now, the first initiation, something that I like to do, we're going to do now. That is, some devotees that know something close appreciation of those devotees' service and dedication to Krishna consciousness can speak something, and Satyasar is the one who can speak something. Where's that microphone?
Hare Krishna. First, I wanted to thank Abhishek Prabhu and Guru Mataji from Austin. They are the ones who introduced me Prabhu and Mataji to Krishna consciousness.
Speak slowly.
Yeah, unfortunately, they are not able to attend the event today, but they conveyed their best wishes to both of you. Now, a little bit about Anil Prabhu. I have known him for a few years now. They attend our preaching program regularly, every week, with the family. Fantastic devotee, very simple, very sincere, always wanted to serve devotees and so on. There are many things I can speak about Anil Prabhu, but in the interest of time, I just want to talk about one aspect of him that really inspired me personally, and also Abhishek Prabhu, so I just want to share that. He is very enthusiastic about preaching to his co-workers. You know, this amazing, and he works for IBM. He's a department head, very powerful and influential job he has. Most of his day at work he spends by giving presentations and meeting high-profile co-workers and customers. So what he does is he puts a beautiful picture of Krishna playing flute, okay, with the forest background on his desktop. After presentation, he just keeps that picture on the screen. When people ask him, so, Prabhu, what is that beautiful picture? He just grabs the opportunity and just talks about Krishna to them. It's a very good thing, actually. Like that, he does many things. He started a fasting club. What is that?
What club?
Fasting.
Fasting.
Yeah, they say fasting club in IBM. Six or seven Westerners, they are fasting every year this year. There are many like that. If anybody is interested in knowing how to preach in the corporate world, please contact him. And Abhishek works with him, so me and Abhishek are very close friends. We are sharing all these things. And extremely sincere devotee. Does a lot of service in our local center in Austin. And so happy that they're taking a big step, a very initiative. I wish them both wonderful devotional life of working service together. Thank you very much. And yesterday I was speaking a little bit about my knowledge. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. This is a message from Guru Mataji. She has known Maya Mataji for a long time.
Speak right into the microphone, please.
Maya Mataji says, I have known Maya Mataji for over 10 years. I am inspired constantly by her dedication. Ever since she started chanting 16 rounds and following regular principle, almost 10 years ago, she never wavered from her practice. She has faced many trials and tribulations in her material and spiritual life, but she kept going. Her father was diagnosed with terminal cancer, but she left everything and went to India to take care of him. And she even preached to her father and made him chant in his last days. She is always there for all the devotees. The size of her magnanimous heart is only comparable to the size of pot she has at her home. She cooks a lot, and she's very enthusiastically, always ready to do service. She has great service attitude. So many times we have some kirtan programs like cook distribution. Many volunteers sign up because Maya Mataji is going to cook for them. saying that she wishes best for her spiritual life and the guidance of Sister Guru and
Oh, I thought you did the neck beads already. So, can both of you come forward and pay obeisances in front of Prabhupada's Vyasasana? One at a time, I guess, because you're still doing her neck beads. Come, Anil. Could you get out of the way? Thanks. Come pay obeisances here. Have you attended an initiation ceremony before?
Yes.
Yes, so you know what's next, right? Okay. This is your vows, and before the deities and the devotees and everybody. How many rounds you chant for the rest of your life, every day?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Minimum 16, okay. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, that which includes no fish, no egg, onion or garlic.
Great.
No gambling.
He's a corporate man.
No
Go ahead.
gambling.
Yeah?
No illicit sex.
Okay.
No intoxication.
Okay, good. Your initiated name is Radha Damodar Das. That's his last name. Damodara. Damodaran. Are you embarrassed at all the things she said about you? You're okay. You're nervous? No. No, okay. How many rounds you'll chant every day?
Minimum 16 rounds.
Good. And the 4 rules that you'll follow?
No meat eating, that includes no fish, no eggs.
She follows her good husband. Onions and garlic too, right?
No illicit sex, no gambling, no intoxication.
Okay. And you'll make your best effort to follow Prabhupada's teachings.
Sincerely.
Very good. Your initiated name is Atma Maya Dasi. You'll find that term in Bhagavad Gita, and Krishna says he appears through the agency of his Atma Maya. That's his internal potency. Atma Maya is the name of Krishna's internal potency. Dasi. Okay, so we're ready for the Yajna.
we start the chanting the pranam mantra of His Holiness Romapada Swami. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prestaya Srimate Romapada Swami Vidinamine
Om Jnana-timirandhasya Jnana-salakaya Chakshur-enmilitam yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Swaha 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 Shri Chaitanya Mano Bhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagadhamayam Dadati Swapadantikam Swaha 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 Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavangscha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Raghunathan Anvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitangscha Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Paschatya Deshatadine Swaha 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 Nama Om Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Iti Namine Shri Varshabhanavi Devi Dayataya Kripabdaye Krishna Sambandha Vijnana Dayane Prabhave Namaha Madhuryo Jvala Premadya Shri Rupanuga Bhaktida Shri Gaura Karuna Shakti Vigrahaya Namostate Namaste Gauravani Shri Murtaye Dinatarine Rupanuga Viruddha Opposite Hanta Dvanta Hadine Swaha 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 Namo Gaura Kishoraya Sakshad Vairagya Murtaye Vipralamba Rasambodhe Padambo Jayate Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Bhakti Vinodaya Satchidanandanamine Gaura Shakti Sarupaya Rupanugavarayate Swaha 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 Gauravir Bhava Bhumestvam Nirdeshta Sajjana Priyaha Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Shri Jagannatayate Namaha Swaha 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 Vancha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripasindhubhya evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Swaha 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 Namo Mahavadanyaya Krishna Prema Pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya Namne Gauratushe Namaha Swaha 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 Panchatattvatmakam Krishnam Bhaktarupa Swarupakam Bhaktavataram Bhaktakyam Namami Bhakta Shaktikam Swaha 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 He Krishna Karuna Sindho Dinabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostate Swaha 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 Jayatam Suratopangor Mama Manda Matergati Matsarvasvapadam Bojo Radha Madana Mohano Swaha 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 Divyad Vrindaranya Kalpadrumadaha Srimad Ratnagara Singhasanasto Srimad Radha Srila Govinda Devo Krishnadibhi Sevyamano Smarami Swaha 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 Shriman Rasarasarambi Vankshivata Tatastataha Karshan Venuswanayar Gopir Gopinatha Shriyestunaha Swaha 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 Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanusute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Swaha 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 Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar, Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda, Swaha, 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 Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Swaha, Swaha, Swaha. Final mantra. Stand, please, with your banana. Show them, Rati, what to do.
You have to hold it with both hands. And then we're going to repeat the mantra, and then you place it in the fire.
Don't, no, you hold it, bead bag. You hold the bead bag. Namo Brahmanya Devaya, Go Brahmana Hitaya Cha, Jagat Hitaya Krishnaya, Govindaya Namo Namaha, Swaha, Swaha, Swaha.
We can
Nagari.